Where has it been? Why have you been hiding it? Well, like I say... Hi guys, and welcome back to Archie Hamilton Racing, where you join me on a day where we're gonna have a lot of fun in this one. I'm currently just about to leave out of London to a location where there is a car which some of you, funnily enough, might not have seen this about on my channel before. When I started YouTube roughly around 2.5 years ago, time has flown very, very, very fast. There was a car which appeared, and a car which has actually been part of my YouTube banner for since that time, basically. But a lot of you say, where the hell is this? And this is a Ferrari 550 Maranello. And I've always said on my channel, since the car has arrived, since I've sort of done videos with it, that this isn't personally owned by myself. This is a car which is in my family. So it's a car which I've been able to have access to, but it's not a car necessarily fully owned by myself. You know, if something's in your family, you sometimes are lucky enough to get a chance to drive something like this now and then. But what I wanted to do today is I wanted to drive it. And I wanted to basically show you guys the car and what it's all about, etc. And go on a sort of journey with it and drive it in sort of around some nice country lanes, not in London, and enjoy something that is more of a modern classic, because it's really not one of your sort of brand new everyday sort of supercars. It's very different with a gated gearbox and everything. It's a different driving experience. I said to you, okay, you can film it for your audience and show them all on YouTube, this car. So I'm gonna do it. I was like, yes, I'm gonna be driving in my own personal car, the SVR, and get out of London and go and find this amazing looking 550 Maranello and get driving and have what really will be a raw driving experience. So let's fire this up and head up.
Follow me down, there's no one around. Lay back and take your socks and shoes right off.
There it is, and it is all sat there. The ultimate modern classic. And like I say, if any of you were around on the early days when I first started my YouTube channel, you would have seen this car on it. And it's very strange. Well, first of all, I've driven it to this location now, and it's so like strange with that gated box and everything else. V12, and not many of these about. And this car itself has a very, very, very special history, and I'm going to tell you about that. Who were the previous owners before, from some very well-known people who have owned this car before, and I'm going to get to that, and alongside that some facts from some also very well-known people, just how good this car really is. There's only roughly 450 right-hand drive cars in the world, so it's very exclusive and very rare, and I think that is why a lot of people are sort of not selling these cars. And in fact, the covers came off it, and in fact the car cover is still inside the car. It has been stored away for that long. Like I say, it's a car which I can get access to every now and then. I'm not going to claim something that's not personally owned by me, but I'm lucky enough to have access to it, so we can enjoy today. I haven't been shy to say, my dad has got the SQ7, he's also got a Ford Mustang Bullet coming, and then we've got a Maranello as well, so it's very, very cool. But let's have a little look around it so you can see more about it. Obviously this car is this very nice blue colour. You can still see a little bit of smoke is coming from the exhaust. It's not been started up for a while, but this very nice blue. I really like it, and I think they're very classy to look at. You might be thinking, well, that doesn't really look like a Ferrari, mate. Well, honestly, these cars are only going up in price. I believe that this car had wheels which were put on it afterwards, so it didn't necessarily have those wheels when it first came. These are the upgraded wheels. It has the tanned interior, which is very, very nice, so we can just open the door a bit so you can see that as well. So the very nice tanned interior, and then you can also see you have the sort of more of a classic steering wheel than you do to your everyday modern stuff. We can still see here we have the car cover because it's been stored away for that long. You have Ferrari 550 Maranello there, which is cool, and then this gated box, which honestly, this is just carnage. We also have these. They're chaos. These are chaos. I mean, I literally, can you imagine? the driving glasses. Should we go for a drive with the 550 Maranello? It's very nice. No, I'm going to put them back. Sorry. Look at it there. It does look very, very good, doesn't it? So what we're going to do is we're going to go and drive this 5.5 litre V12 and take her on the roads. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on country roads, nice quiet roads, because I really don't want to. This car's very special to me and special to my family. I don't think it'd be very wise just to go hooning up the dual carriage like, and if it all went wrong, it wouldn't look good. But honestly, it's a special experience. That it's a very, very different experience, I believe, to what anything else is like a modern supercar. It's just on your toes. Everything's kind of, you know, the manual, the pedals, everything's just so different and raw. And some people might be thinking that's just not the best Ferrari. Well, £150,000 these are now, and that is not what you paid for them new. Trust me, they are just going up and up and up. And I just can't wait to get behind the wheel. I'm gonna go easy because if anything went wrong and I had to make a phone call saying, I've just had an issue with this, I don't think it would be wise to return anywhere near where it needs to be dropped off. Literally. I might as well just drive straight back to London at that point. I've got the key. Look how old school the key is as well. It's like properly old school. Got your Ferrari badge and your key. There's no like keyless go here. This is very raw. You have to even press the immobiliser. This might be very normal for a lot of you at home that have sort of older modern classics, but I'm not really used to this. What's in this in here? I think that's the immobiliser. I don't want to do anything or damn. And actually, to be fair, when this car came, and you can see I don't know if you can see behind me, but there was like oh look, there's a mat here. There was actually a suitcase which lives on the back of there, which is very cool. Which is still about, apparently. So the suitcase, the Ferrari original suitcase, which came with it, is still about. I'm going to tell you a fact before we get going. It's got a very good horn, very nice. No, that's not actually the fact. The fact is, Michael Schumacher said that this was one of the best handling Ferraris he has ever driven. So when we're sort of looking at this, maybe a little bit less than you would something like a 458 or something like that, a multiple-time, well, 5-time world champion, he's basically saying that this is one of the best all-round cars. I have to press this button now. Was that meant to go on? Listen to the box. Okay, I'm going to tell you some of the facts about this car, but I'm straight away just like, ooh, and I'm losing light rapidly. This car was previously owned by an F1 sort of race winner, team boss Ross Brawn. So Ross Brawn, if you know your racing and stuff like that, it was previously owned by him. More facts to come with this. It was also owned by a very well-known pop star, Rod Stewart. So I know who Rod Stewart is, but it was more of like a different era for me. But you always hear about, I'm trying to think of one of his songs, can't think of one. So it's had a very good history, and you could pick up one of these cars, let's say maybe 7 years ago, so I don't know, something around then, for let's say 60,000. You cannot get one in England for like below like 140,000 with like a nice spec, right-hand drive, and everything else. The left-hand drives are going for a lot less. So it's got a V12 in it. So we know V12s from like the Aventador. Oh, we're going under a tunnel. Should we hear what it sounds like in neutral? Here we go. Hang on, wait a minute. Oh, you beast. Stop it. In the world, only 430 right-hand drive cars. So they're very, very limited, and they're very much investment. And a lot of these cars, which they are doing now these days, is people buy them and then they put them away. You cannot use this car day to day. You would use it on like maybe a journey out. Well, we're so spoiled these days with supercars that you can just jump in them, fire them up and drive them. What's so interesting about this and stuff is that you don't know what's going to happen next. Like, I didn't even know the windscreen wiper was going to work then. It's chaos. You just don't even know. It's got a very, very unique horn. It sounds like an ice cream van. And it's so different that I'm having the best time ever. So handling wise, Michael Schumacher is saying it's one of the best handling cars ever, which is mad. And I love hearing history. And there's a lot of history behind cars like this. And will it ever be sold? Well, I can't see it, to be honest with you. It's going to be stored. It's going up in value. What? It's just good, isn't it? They only ever made manual. There's not anything else. There was only ever manual of this car, which is a very interesting fact. It's just like it's not one of those cars that you're ever gonna take on a track. But like, could you imagine like if you're like in a really hot country and you're balling around in one of these, like, going first. But could you imagine you are balling if you're like in the Monaco Hills, you're just cruising around in this, you're just like, yes. I think that man knew what he was buying with that. They're quick, they've got a bit of poke. I'm on the very narrow roads here and I don't want to get my foot down properly. It's raining, it's drizzle in the air, and it's probably not the best time to be doing that. Now the windscreen wipers don't stop. Stop! Oh God, how do we turn the lights on? I literally don't know how to turn the lights on. Yes! I've turned the lights on. That dash is awesome. It's how these things you don't even know, and then you work things out and you're like, oh, it's just a class, it's just cool. You could buy one of these for like the same price as like a 458 pretty much. That's what's so ridiculous. You could actually buy a Lamborghini Huracan for the same amount of money as one of these. That's just mad, isn't it? But that's like saying anything. Yeah, I mean, that's probably not even a real fact. So yeah, how often does this car get used? And where is it being? Why have you been hiding it? Well, like I say, I haven't had the chance to, it's not personally mine. It's owned in the family. And it's something where, like I say, I phoned up and I was like, would it be possible? And I want you guys to obviously be part of every experience I do. And I was like, you know what? If I could do a video and show people what it's like, this raw driving experience, this uncomfortable experience, what it is, it's not comfortable in here. It's far from it, really. And then, yeah, take it for a drive, take it around the block. And I am literally going around the block. I'm not going far at all. Because, like I say, I just don't want anything to happen to it. So there we go. I have just jumped out of the Ferrari 550 Maranello, and I jumped out and I looked at it and I just thought, wow. I'm really proud to have that in my family, if I'm honest with you. It's a car which I hope it never gets sold. It's a really raw driving experience, and just look at it. How cool is it? And obviously myself coming from that racing background, and my grandfather who was a Le Mans winning driver and things like that. Just things that stay in the family. I just love that. And when I'm driving it, I was like, this is special. It really is special. And yeah, it's a very different driving experience. It really is. If any of you get the chance to drive something like this, please go and do it. And something very different for my channel. I know that I do like laps around London. I love London and showing you the content in London, but doing something different is also very fun, and sharing that aspect and that different side, and like I want to do with the racing stuff and bring it all in. This was just something which I really just wanted to show you guys and do, and it was an amazing experience. It really is. It looks amazing. It's still all clean, which is it. So I'm going to drop it back and I'm just going to be like, take it away from me. I don't want anything to happen to it. Just like, yeah, let's just go easy. And it's all in one piece. It's all, let's just have a little walk around it just before we sign this one off. There you go. You can see it all parked up there in immaculate condition with the blue. It basically doesn't even look like I've taken it out, which is exactly how I would like this to be returned. And I don't think I've fully shown you the front of it, which is there. We also have another BRDC badge just there. But what's actually quite cool is you've got this sort of vented part there, which I do quite like. Time to drop her back and put her back into storage. That's exactly where it's been. It's been hidden away, and that is exactly why, and you now know where it's been. And honestly, it will go in and it will have a cover put straight back over it. And like I say, they're only going up in price, and it's not really worth driving it just all the time, is it? Just on a summer's drive, yeah, take it out, go down to the shops and stuff like that, and then I think after that just put it away. I don't think it's worth it, is it? And if there's anything content wise you would like to see in the future, if I ever get a chance to be able to drive it again, let me know. It's been a lot of fun. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Leave those comments down below, and I will see you all